3 weddings and a fire? Well, sort of. You ready? Let's dish.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, welcome to DISHIN Days. We are AfterBuzz TV's weekly recap of NBC's Emmy Award-winning soap opera Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tami Goveia.
Hi, Tami.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Hi, fellow co-host. This is Michael Mattis, everyone.
I don't get to introduce myself now?
Yes, I am introducing you today.
Michael Mattis, how are you? I'll do hi.
Switching it up a little bit.
Yeah, why not?
Hi.
Why not?
So Mr. Tony Baloney isn't with us today.
Tony Baloney. He is living La Vida Loca in
Yes,
Mexico.
literally.
So, hello, Tony in Mexico.
We miss him.
Yas.
Okay,
Yas.
so guys, make sure and follow us, as always, across all social media. On Twitter, you can find us at _DISHIN Days, and on Insta and Facebook, you can find us at DISHIN Days. If you are in the chat room, we've got quite a few people in the chat room. Please say hello.
Hi, chat room.
Michael will be keeping his eye out for all of your comments. And if you are a podcast listener, hello, podcast listener. We appreciate you. That's my podcast voice.
That's your podcast.
That's my podcast voice.
Okay.
Please be sure and leave us a comment on iTunes. We appreciate all the feedback and all the good stuff that you guys have to say to us. If you are a fan of other soap operas, we've got some other soap block content shows here at AfterBuzz. For General Hospital, we've got the GH Report. For The Young and the Restless, we've got the Restless Wrap. And if you are a fan of The Bold and the Beautiful, or just a fan of James Lott Jr. in general,
Or a fan of Tami Goveia.
or moi, you can catch us at 4:15 today for the Bold Breakdown. Yay!
Yes!
Excited for that.
Yes.
I think that is it.
As Tony calls them,
besides
the church
the
announcements.
church announcements.
Is that it for the church
I
announcements?
think so. What did
Okay.
you think of the week before we start?
It was good. I liked it. There were some entertaining moments. I really enjoyed this Eve and Claire relationship, and I'll explain more later when we go through it. But that was probably like the most thing that resonated with me from the week.
And
How about you?
I loved all Jen and Jack scenes.
Yeah. Oh, those flashbacks.
Literally on fire. It was so great.
Mark, my husband, was watching it with me, and he, during one of the flashbacks, he's like, "Is that really them?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's them like 20 30 years ago."
earlier, yeah.
He's like, "Oh,
Oh.
wow." Yeah. He's like, "Oh, wow." He was like, "They've been on the show that long?" And I'm like, "Well, in and out, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, history. It's a thing."
All right.
So, yeah.
On that note, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start.
DISHIN Days. Thank you so much. Oh my God. World peace.
Thank you.
World peace.
You like me.
Thank you, Steve,
really
our
like me.
fearless producer, engineer, extravaganza.
Extraordinaire.
That's the word. Not extravaganza, extraordinaire. Also, we forgot to mention, we are announcing the nominees for the second annual DISHIN Days Awards after the recap. So
Yes.
if you want to know if your fave was nominated, stay tuned.
The response was crazy. So
Yeah.
thank you, fans.
Absolutely,
That was
yeah.
Fantastic.
Love it.
There were literally storylines and characters and such that I had forgotten about.
Me too. Like
So-
like events and we realized so many returning characters, not many new ones.
When we broke it down,
We had some trouble.
Yeah.
But we figured it out. So stay tuned. We will announce that after the recap. And
Let's dive
Speaking of
in.
recap,
yes. Storyline number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the all-encompassing Jack, Jennifer, Eve, Claire, Trip, Haley, JJ, parentheses, Ben,
Mm-hmm.
Justin, Adrian, and Ice Agent.
everybody in half of Salem's involved with this
I know.
storyline now. So what'd you think?
Well, the week started off with the engagement.
The continuation of the engagement.
The engagement. And I was wondering, because Eve did all the talk.
Right, exactly.
She did all the talking.
She kind of steamrolled.
He just kind of
him.
stood there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that bothered me a little bit. It's
Me
like,
too.
Dude, speak up for yourself.
Well, and I think we mentioned this last week. Is she the nominee? Like, is she running?
Is she
No,
running for
it's not.
mayor?
But
Yeah.
she just went into it and did her own thing. And Jack was kind of ticked about it, which I was like, okay, he should be. And I thought maybe for a second that this would be like the point where he realized, like, maybe he still wants to run for mayor, but not do all this. But of course, she roped him back in.
And
Because, and we got a little bit of inside Jack's current head later in the week when he was with Jennifer, and he was like, "This is all I know." And so, like, as jerky as he's being, and as much of a puppet as he's being for Eve, and you want to just be like, stop, just give it up, go back with Jennifer. Like, we saw Jack's perspective.
But I love how Jen made it very clear that every decision that he's made thus far has been Eve's decision.
Right, exactly.
Has been her idea.
He's a puppet.
Yeah.
He's her puppet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm still like, this whole the immigration issue aspect of this storyline is still like, it's a little icky for me. I don't know.
There have been some,
I don't want to believe
yeah.
that there are people like that in Salem. You know what I mean?
In Salem.
And so, like,
You mean in the world in general?
Like, well, in the world in general too. But so Eve has been painted kind of as this, I don't know what the right word
Femme
to use.
fatale, kind of?
No,
sorta?
she's just very. I can't think of the word. I don't want to call her like villain because she's not full on villain. She's just hateful. I guess that would be the word. She's this hateful person.
She's so bitter and she just wants revenge.
Yeah, and what we did see a softer side of her this week, and I mentioned to you guys in the chat room, like, this is the brilliance of Cassie DePaiva, is that you can see a string of scenes and you're just like, oh, I hate this woman. She's so mean and she's so vindictive and so devious. And then turn around in a completely different scene and you feel for her because she mentioned, and I think I keep forgetting that, her daughter was killed. Ben murdered her daughter.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a dream. That wasn't like a fake death as of yet. Like, Ben actually murdered her daughter.
Yeah.
Psycho or not, he murdered her daughter. So she still has this broken heart. And Cassie just does such a great job of bringing that aspect of Eve forward. So you're just like, oh,
Yeah,
Eve.
she
like,
has
oh.
that vulnerability that she's able to bring to the table when you least expect it, which engages you.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's not all evil and all.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when she first started as Eve, way back when she came back to Salem for Dr. Daniel to do her vocal cord surgery.
Yes, that's right.
And she found out she couldn't, or it may like inhibit her ability to sing or something. And up until that moment, it had just been like Eve battling Jennifer. And again, you were just like, oh, this woman's so mean and nasty. And once you saw that vulnerable side, you were like, oh.
She's operating from a place of pain. And every once in a while that pain comes to the top, and that's when you can go, okay. But I'm almost believing that Jack is as devious or more devious than Eve. They really are a good match. If he continues to tap into this side of him, they're really a good match.
Now, see what I'm getting from Jack. I'm not getting that from Jack. I'm getting, like I said, like when he gave that speech to Jennifer when they were in that closet or wherever they were, and he's like, "This is all I know. I have no memory." So he's like, "I can't," and so I don't see him being devious. He's going along with Eve because he doesn't remember his past with Jennifer. He doesn't remember anything except from when Eve found him. So of course I feel like he's gonna go with her. He's gonna agree to everything. But I don't think it comes from a place of hate. I don't think it comes from a place of revenge or deviousness. It's just like, what else is he supposed to do?
I think he's got the capacity though, because he was coming up with ideas and like, yeah, we can work this and we can work that, and yeah.
But if Eve wasn't there to egg him on, I don't think he would be going that route. I don't think his brain would be working that way.
I love the scene between Eric and Jennifer.
Yeah.
That was so great.
And I had a
missed
moment.
that.
And,
I was always team Eric and Jennifer. Like when they were a couple, I always loved them together.
Speaking of forgetting, I was like, I was watching that scene and I had the same feelings. I was like, oh, I like them together. They would make oh. And I stopped myself. I was like, wait, we've been through that. So
did you like them together?
I was okay with them.
Yeah.
They weren't like, they didn't wow me, but they were cute together. And I thought that Melissa Reeves and Greg Vaughn definitely had chemistry together.
And I thought they were going to come up with the generic game plan of pretending to be a couple to see if Jack would become jealous, kind of thing. So I did not see this. This other story coming down the pike.
didn't see when Eve got that phone call. I was
Yes.
like, oh, who's this calling
Yes.
her? And then they showed Eric. I was like, oh.
So good.
And then, so Jennifer's plan was to recreate a situation from a wedding that she was going to have with a character named Emilio. Long time ago.
Yeah.
And she faked a fire and rescued him and locked him in a closet.
And
And
Jack,
that's why
Jack's
Eric,
line to her is like, "Where did you get that teeny tiny uniform?
like a child's Halloween
like
store
all
or something.
5'3" of her in this firefighter uniform."
That's awesome. It was great.
But I
yeah.
did have a question. Is Eric still doing social work?
I think
He's working more at Brady's pub than
he's helping out Roman. Roman's
I
not a young
know.
man.
I know he's not a young
Roman
rat.
needs some support,
Well,
and
I think he should just take over.
Well, and I
because
think
I'm confused.
was it Eve that came in and was like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah,
or
why are
what-
you here?
And it's like it's his dad's restaurant.
Yeah,
Duh,
exactly.
that's why he's here.
I'm just helping out.
Duh.
I'm just helping out.
So Eve was pissed.
Yes. Well, I'd love to just going back to when she had kidnapped Jack. That was so because in the memory, when he kidnapped her, he flings her over his
Right.
shoulder, and
I was like, she couldn't do that
she's
with
not going
him.
to be able to fling him
No.
anywhere. So I liked how they finagled that.
Yes.
When they were in the room, and Jack would say things to her like, "You need to leave me alone," and she would just stand there and look at him and say, "No." And then,
that's right.
and then he'd say, "You need to just give up on this idea that we're going to get back together." And she just stands there, "No."
I liked that moment. I was like, "Yes, Jennifer, you stand
Yeah.
your ground.
And there
You
was-
get your man back."
There was another one. Oh, and then he said, "You need to give up on us. Let me out." And she said, "No."
No.
I love that.
So while all this is going on,
Yes.
another wedding is being planned. What do we think about that?
So, well, you're talking about Claire. Yeah, we're talking about.
Well, we're
Claire.
talking about Trip and Haley, and then
yeah.
Claire's, not so.
Yeah.
Claire was still cracking me up this week.
But I
with
wanted to
her-
go back really quick. So
Oh, yeah.
Adrian had something
Right.
up her sleeve, and then so when Jack says, "No, I can't do this," so that confused me. It's not like a fake. I can't do this because I forgot a ring. I can't do
Right.
this. Do you think it's a real? I can't
thinking
do this
maybe
because I
he-
have second thoughts.
Well, yeah, because he did. Remember, he had that memory. I can't remember the
Did he
name.
have
He remembered the name when he woke up after
Loretta.
being
Loretta.
when he woke up after being knocked out by those light-looking boxes.
Yes,
but
the
whatever,
empty boxes.
It's a TV show. He remembered the name Loretta, so he had a memory. So I'm thinking maybe he's now hesitant to move on with this marriage because he
Eva's
had
gonna
that
lose
memory.
her mind. She's gonna lose her flipping mind. But Adrian, when Jennifer said, "You're not seriously going to officiate this," Adrian said, I got this, girl." But then when Jack said, "No, I can't do this," I'm wondering if we're ever going to find out what Adrian had up her sleeve, or not.
Or maybe it's going to be one of those where Jack said on Friday at the end he can't do this. Then Monday, the first scene, it's something like, "I don't have my lucky handkerchief,"
Well, that's-
or some lame
I hope
excuse.
not.
And then they do go forward with it. Adrian performs the ceremony, and then we figure out what she had up her sleeve. I have a nugget in my brain about what up her sleeve, but I don't want to say it.
Okay, I have no clues, so I'm really curious. I want to know.
So Scott Holst in the chat room agrees with me. He doesn't see Jack as devious, just sees him as confused and lost.
manipulated.
And Robin Mahoney says Jack is coming around, hopefully fully soon. Yes, hopefully fully
We
soon.
want
Hopefully
Jen and Jack back.
Yes. And I kind of want this mayor election, just have the election.
I know.
Abe is reinstated and we move on. But we'll see. And so back to Haley
Back to the second wedding that's
Mm-hmm.
going down with Haley and Trip.
and JJ.
And JJ. There's so
Girl.
much going on.
I know, yeah.
So maybe let's just start with Claire confessing to Eve
to the fire.
to the fire. So do you believe it now?
Yeah, I said, "Girl, did you watch the show last week? I know you weren't here, but it's fine. I'll catch you up." I admitted that Claire was the one that started the fire. However,
That was the earthquake I felt.
that was,
That must have been the earthquake I felt.
the earthquake was later in the week, girl. No. So I accepted that Claire started the fire. However, I still take issue with how the information was presented to us and how we never actually saw her set something on fire.
I agree.
But
I agree.
So I think the reveal was a big fat disappointment for me. And it's just that little thing. I just needed to see her light something on fire, not just go with a lighter. But now that she's admitting it to people, I believe it's true.
Her confessing to Eve,
Mm-hmm.
and again, that was a beautiful moment, like you said, when those scenes between Claire and Eve are so great, and especially when Eve was saying, you know, she doesn't have a daughter anymore, and she really looks at Claire as her daughter and is going to do everything that she can to protect her.
See, I loved those moments.
Love those moments. Did not love the plan to frame Ben
No.
for the fire.
I don't like it, but
I'm done with this.
I don't like it, but I do understand, and I
get
do.
it.
Well, and to me, this is moving the storyline away from, you know, the mayor. So I'm like, okay, let's create another path for Eve or something else for her to do. But I understand Eve's motivation because this man, as I said, did murder her daughter. So I see her motivation
you don't
because
ever
he's
get over
not,
that.
you know, he killed her, he murdered, and he's walking free. So and that's what I'm saying. From Eve's perspective, that's what she's seeing. The man who murdered her daughter is walking free. He needs to be behind bars. This is an easy way to get him in there. And the police already are starting to suspect him because JJ turned in. Did he turn in the lighter or did he just?
Well, he got.
I blanked on how they got the lighter.
Claire gave him the lighter.
Oh, right.
Reluctantly.
Right.
And
That's
then,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he puts it in a little plastic baggie. And then when Eli showed it to Sierra, she kind of freaked out because she had a memory.
So I don't remember.
It could be. It's possible. I always go back to that moment when Olivia was here in studio as a guest. And when she said, you know, Claire right now is probably at a 4 in regards to cray cray, and I think they used that expression
Probably
this week on the show.
Yes,
right.
Someone
did
did
somebody say cray cray?
Someone did. I don't remember. I did hear that.
I laughed out loud. It was an LOL moment. She's
think it's
getting
JJ.
more and more derailed. I mean, even there was that tender scene between Claire and Eve, but then
right after.
Claire lost her marbles.
Well, and going back to what happened last week, we still don't know how that video got erased or that audio got erased.
And you know, and I don't know if that was it was a really clever storyline because the big reveal, obviously we all expected that to be what the big reveal is and for it to be they're getting engaged. So Ron and the writers, okay, that was good.
Yeah.
You got us on that. But what happened? What really happened?
Yeah, who done deleted
Yeah.
the video? There's some there's speculation out there of who it was. I'm not sure if I believe it or not, but time will tell. I'll tell you later.
All right.
So then Haley's around and she's getting ready for her wedding. Trip,
so beautiful.
Her and Trip have written their vows, and Claire is, you know, when she's not with Eve, she's just kind of stewing about it, not really trying to put on a game face.
No, she's
for it.
imagining doing really bad makeup
Yeah.
to Haley. That was hysterical. The unibrow.
Oh my God, the clown.
unibrow. Yes.
Geez, the clown makeup.
That was
yeah.
fantastic. Just
That was
daydreaming
good.
how hideous Haley could possibly look on her wedding day. Daydreaming, yes. That's the daydream music.
I was like, am I hearing that? Had a moment. So, okay, so Trip and Haley is getting ready for the wedding, and JJ comes in.
Yes, and
And
oh
they
my
start-
God, when she opened the door, there was just that electric current, right? Didn't
Yeah.
you feel that?
I especially felt it when they were on the couch making out, but
Ooh.
yes, when he opened the door,
Yeah.
and then Ice Agent, I can't remember her name.
She has a name. The character's name is Laverne Smith.
Laverne Smith.
Ice Agent Laverne Smith.
Got it.
Played by the actress Stacey Greenwell. Want to give a shout out to Miss Stacey Greenwell.
She kind of
because
steals.
She's so good.
She steals the scenes when she's in them because she's just like. She's like really, really like she says everything with an undertone of like I ain't buying it.
And if I were Haley and Trip, anybody, I'd be scared. I'll be scared.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
So yeah, Haley and JJ made out a little bit.
Yes, they did.
Ice Agent
Laverne.
showed up.
It's like,
is
let's
staying
get
for the
this show.
wedding.
Let's get this show on the road.
Justin
folks.
agreed to officiate.
Yes.
So he's officiating one wedding. Adrian's across town
Yes.
officiating the other
I forgot
wedding.
about that.
So it was funny. I realized that I'm like, oh, husband and wife officiants.
They're busy.
Yeah, busy bees.
And then that storyline ended with Claire crashing.
Claire busting in because she made another recording.
She did. But how how is she going to do this so that it's not obvious that she did it? Because she said to Eve, my involvement in whatever blows up, I can't be involved in this. Like Trip can never know that I'm a part of any of this.
Right. And so maybe I think she just decided, you know what?
She just doesn't care at this
She doesn't
point.
care at this
Yeah.
point. She just needs to bust them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But she busted into that room and I was like, girl.
I know.
It's like, girl.
Just
But
don't get married in Salem.
never get married in Salem. Go to
Weddings,
Puerto Vallarta.
Don't get married in Salem.
Leave the country and get married
I know.
somewhere else because you either get shot, someone's going to interrupt it, someone's going to leave the altar. Let's see what else. Someone comes back to life, all kinds of stuff. So that's where that left off.
That was that.
Even Jack's wedding got stopped because of Jack, and
Yes.
Haley and Tripp's wedding got stopped because of Claire.
Yes.
So we'll see the continuation Monday on Days of Our Lives.
We have Rafe,
That was a long
Jordan, I know, baby David, Eli, Lonnie, Ben, and Sierra. So the week starts off with Rafe in Salem now with baby David.
Found the baby.
Found the baby, so cute.
And
Marnie, good casting for baby David.
I know,
He's
so well
flippin'
behaved
cute.
and just, always I don't think we've seen him cry.
No.
No. And they just goo over him
Yes.
and it's really funny
He's
because
so good with people.
yeah.
I mean, they were passing him around.
And he was
from
like,
person to-
okay.
He's like, good, I'm good.
And I think like they like the goo-goo-ness amongst the actors was legit. Like I think they really thought he was cute. So I was waiting for Rafe to go to Hope, seeing the scene where Rafe goes to Hope and says, "We're keeping this baby," and I wanted to see Hope like blow up at him. We didn't see that. What we were presumed to believe is that Rafe brought the baby home, and Hope was just like, "Yeah, okay," because then the next time we saw Hope was at the station when Ted came in. And she explained to him like, "Oh, we have Jordan's baby," and he's like, "Well, doesn't that bother you?" And she was like, "No, he's cute, he's cool." And I was like, "All right, well, that was kind of a drama letdown. Kind of made up for it later in the week,
Well,
but
later in the week.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I have to put myself in Hope's shoes, and it's not like we can just kick the baby to the curb. I mean,
Right.
Given the circumstances,
Well,
we
no,
know
and-
we know what the system is like. Maybe we can just figure this out for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's okay temporarily with it, and then as we found out later in the week,
right.
like,
I think she was just
yeah.
playing ball. I think
Yeah.
Hope maybe felt guilty about the kiss.
You know what?
And
That's
then
a really good point.
and then Ted revealing just like, "I'm in love with you." And I think she's got feelings for him that she's trying to
definitely
like
got
she's
feels.
trying to like, no,
She's
go
definitely
away.
got feels.
So back to the baby.
Yes.
Lonnie.
Oh my God, South Stowers, you're just so
You could see it.
beautiful with that baby.
See it in her face.
Oh my gosh.
That she just had an instant connection with this baby.
I know. That's the sound of connection.
That is the sound of connection.
Yes. I felt bad. Every time Eli was watching Lonnie and David together, you could just see his heart breaking.
Yeah.
Because you could see her bonding with this little thing. And there's such a void. And I almost wanted to think, like, maybe Eli and Lonnie could foster the baby.
Maybe, I mean, I think
I thought about that.
I think this is leading to some kind of custody battle around this baby. Like, is it going to go with a family member or is it going to go with...
Well, there's no way Ben's ever going to get it. Just because of his past. There's no way.
I mean, I think that's where it's going to... Like, that's where the battle's going to come in. But... because yeah, Lonnie was definitely not about having Ben around the baby.
No.
And Jordan wasn't about having Ben
Yeah.
around the baby. So, in that respect, like I do feel for Ben because he's like, guys, come on, like cut me some slack.
Yeah, agreed.
So I do feel for him in that respect, even though he did actually kill people. But yeah, so I hope he at least gets some kind of relationship.
I'm
with baby
curious as
David.
to where this is going to go. Whenever they bring
I
a
have an
baby
idea-
into the mix, you're
Yeah,
always full of ideas.
I always have an idea because I've been watching the show for so long, and I can see like them kind of setting the stage for it. But I'm wrong, a lot. Like who set the fire? I was wrong. So yeah, and then what else happened? So much happened with each of these storylines.
Well, for
it's hard
that,
to,
we're
we keep
just
getting off
talking about
track.
Rafe and the baby, and that's pretty much what happened because we're going to segue right into Hope, Rafe, and Ted.
Right.
And what do you think about Ted and Hope? Do you think she really has the feels for Ted?
We have Tony Moore in the chat room,
Tony!
all the way from Mexico.
Hey, Mr. Tony.
Say hey to Tony.
Yay!
Okay. So Hope. I'm not sure how I feel about Hope and Ted. I almost like Hope alone. I kind of want Hope. I don't want the character storyline to always be revolving
from one
around
relationship
a
to
relationship.
another, yeah.
Like Hope can be an independent, badass woman without a man. And that just seems to always be like the go-to storyline with her is like, okay, pair her with a man, have drama, pair her with another man, have drama, have Beau come back and die, pair her with another man, have drama. And it's just like, let her be Hope. Give her a storyline that she can shine in just kind of by herself. You know, and so like this immediate like, okay, one relationship is hitting the skids and there's another man because of another man being involved. One of the reasons is another man being involved. I'm just like,
yeah.
Like it's been done, and it's been done so much in the recent past that I'm just I don't want to say I'm against it, but I'm just like, okay, fine.
Yeah. I will say that when Hope said to Ted, he revealed how he felt about her. Mm-hmm. And she said, "You don't know me." And he did that monologue. Like, well, here's what I know about you.
Right.
You like your coffee this way. Mm-hmm. When you do this thing with the paperclip. And I was actually really impressed with that.
Okay. He's paying attention.
He's very, when he says to her, you should and you need and want to be the center of someone's universe, that really resonated because I think that's the role she had with Beau.
Yeah.
She was the center of his universe. And that never changed.
No, I think they were the center of each other's universes, and that's what made them such that's what made fans love them.
The power couple that they were forever.
Except, as I've said before, I like Hope better without Beau. Because I feel like the character of Beau, not to go off on a tangent, Beau was a very self-righteous character and looked down on other people, and I feel like that made Hope self-righteous and looked down on other people. With Beau out of the picture, I feel like Hope is more likable to me.
She came into her own more.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, and then Eli being Rafe's... I didn't realize that... I thought he was Lonnie's partner. I didn't know that he and Rafe were still partners. Because he's like, he's my friend, he's my partner. And I was like, I thought you were...
Can you be partners with more than one person? I don't think so.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
Maybe.
point. Well, with Rafe, I mean, he hasn't been in town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so while Rafe has been out with Sammy and then, chasing babies, Eli needs a partner with someone. So.
Well, and that's... Okay, so what do you think about... Okay, so Hope has this thing going with Ted. She clearly has feelings for him, but are suppressing them. Rafe is off helping everybody else and rescuing babies.
Yeah.
Like, who's... Like, can you say that one of the two of them is really at fault for their relationship, like, fracturing like this? Because on both hands, they're not, like, on both parts, they're not committed to the relationship.
The issue. Hope has never gotten over the fact that Rafe slept with Sammy.
Okay.
All of this is coming from that. She hasn't forgiven him.
Good point.
She's still holding on to him, holding on to that.
Completely left my brain. Good point.
Because if that hadn't happened, of course she'd be okay with this baby situation. Mm-hmm. The relationship wouldn't be broken. Those were the words she used. She said, "We're so broken."
Right.
And it's only he's moved on. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's only so many times he can apologize and say, "I'm sorry" and "I love you." She hasn't been able to let go of that, and so when you hold on to that, then you're not 100% invested in the relationship.
To begin with,
To begin with. Don't you think?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I forgot that aspect of how they started their marriage off pretty much with a deception.
Yeah, and then when they tried to celebrate their anniversary, it came up again, and it was just this...
Lots of support for Beau in the chat room. I apologize. Well, I don't apologize for my comments, but I apologize that, it made some people feel something. Tony is in Mexico, and he says, yes, Alfadeo has kidnapped me. He won't give me back until he gets Chloe. Oh, snap! Oh, snap!
That's awesome.
Should we send Chloe?
Let's send.
Well, let's give Tony some more vacation time, and then we'll
you
send
enjoy
Chloe.
Alpha Deo. He's kind of fine.
Oh,
he's kind of fine. I think that was it for Hope and Rafe and Ted and that whole thingamajig.
They had that moment, like their breakup moment. Their kind of break where they ended with Rafe saying he's moving out.
Yeah.
I really got engaged with that scene, and I really
too.
feel like Galen and Christian did
could feel the
a good
chemistry.
job of conveying like the emotions, and it really engaged me. And it, when Christian started to cry or Hope started to cry at the end of the scene, I was like,
And we don't see that very often. Again,
No.
Hope is always that badass.
Yeah.
So when she broke down on the bench, that was great.
Yeah. Next. Thank you. Next.
So those were our top storylines. We want to just take a quick minute to thank everyone for supporting us here at AfterBuzz TV and
Yes.
supporting our show, DISHIN Days, in particular. AfterBuzz TV is known as the ESPN of Talk TV Talk, and we can't do this without your support. We ask you to please continue sharing and loving our show and all of AfterBuzz TV's shows. If you're into dramas or comedies, there's an after show for just about everything. So please make sure and continue the support. We love what we do. We love what we do.
We do love what we do.
And we love the fans, and we appreciate the engagement and support always. So thank you.
Everyone in the chat room, so many people, I can't mention by name.
Yes.
Wants to talk about seeing.
Okay.
Coming up. It's
Coming
coming.
up. Coming up.
Don't go nowhere. It's coming.
Let's start with Will and Sunny, right?
Will and Sunny and Will's brain tumor.
And the brain tumor.
So we find out from Rex
Oh,
and
boy.
Sarah
Yeah.
that Will now has a brain tumor
Yeah.
because these two can't just be happy for one damn minute. And that's irking me a little bit.
I know.
I'm like, okay, they just keep jumping from one crisis to another. Like when Paul left and they were free to be together, Leo shows up. Leo does his thing, leaves, brain tumor shows up.
I know.
And I'm like,
And it's severe.
yeah.
Like, really, a brain tumor? What are we doing here?
I was surprised by that. I'm like, really? We're giving him a brain tumor.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? Usually when a character faints, it usually ends up being pregnant, but that's, can't do that with Will.
I thought this was going to be a side effect of the drug that he took to
Me
get his
too.
memories back.
Me too.
Which, eventually they could find a cure or the side effects would go away. But a brain tumor is like, come on.
What if the tumor is a result of the drug?
That's possible.
That could be.
That's possible.
So they're dealing with that. Will had a moment where he kind of realized the situation and the yeah, we'll add it. It's fine.
The situation.
He realized the situation and the possible, his possible life, and reading on the internet about brain tumor, and he just kind of had that emotional moment, and that got to me too. I think that it was the end of Thursdays. We had these series of very emotional moments, and that was one of them. And I think it started with Ben and Lonnie outside the Brady pub, and Lonnie just strolls past him, and Ben's like, "Oh, I want to see my nephew."
Yeah, it's the
And
only
then-
family I have. The
and then
only innocent.
Yeah, and then I
in
think
this
we had
scenario.
Will and Sunny, and Will kind of breaking down and realizing what's going on, and then we had Hope and Rafe.
Hope and Rafe.
The Hope and Rafe breakup.
I know, but I didn't appreciate. I didn't like Sarah's life is. I'm just realizing after what's going on with Sunny and Will that life is short, and let's just get married now.
I'm like, girl.
ah!
Girl, and Eric walks out, just to see that, and then so let's talk about that.
No more
storyline.
tumor. Make it go away.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Will.
our,
Hopefully the tumor.
End of
First of all,
story.
hope it's not cancerous.
No.
And second of all, hope it gets removed and cut out and all that good stuff. And so Will and Sunny can finally have 2 damn minutes of
Please.
just.
Wilson needs
Happiness.
some peace and happiness.
Oh, what did someone say? Oh, Aaron Brody in the chat room. They better not kill my Will. I swear to God. This was in all caps. So.
Yeah. Better listen, Ron.
Kelly Fogg says, not true. Wilson is just boring. Whatever. Scott Holston says, even a tumor can't make Wilson interesting.
Oh.
So maybe there's not.
That's so
I don't know.
harsh.
The chat room is mixed about Wilson.
No,
but
Wilson.
I don't know. I do want them to have some moments of
Absolutely.
happiness, please. So moving on to what you were talking about, Sarah
Eric,
and Rex.
Sarah, Rex, and Marlena. Again, I love those. I love all conversations with Marlena and Eric.
Do you think it was out of character for Marlena to be like, "There's nothing stopping me from telling Sarah what's going on"?
I think she's like, you know what? This is ridiculous. You're my son.
My reaction
The choice you made is ridiculous.
My
And
reaction to that
so-
was like, stay out of it, Marlena.
Yeah, no.
Worry about not getting shot and not getting poisoned or your patients and, you know?
I think her instinct as a mother came out. I don't think she's going to do anything.
I hope not.
Because
I just feel
Eric
like,
said to her,
I just
like,
don't feel
look.
like that's in character for Marlena to blab other people's business, even if it is her son.
Maybe she's just prodding him. She's like, fine, you're not going to say a thing, then I will.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to.
No?
I don't know. I think it was kind of out of character.
I
keep
don't know.
saying that.
Some out of character things have happened, so I would be up for that.
Okay, there was high demand for some sin talk.
Yes.
And apart from what was happening with the lighter and the baby,
Yes.
he was like, well, why don't you sleep here? In his little sugar shack he's got going behind
A
the
new
Mirror
set?
Mansion.
Well, that was cool.
It's like a new
Dumpy
like,
set.
come on. I mean, I'm glad that they put something up for
Yeah.
him, but yeah, so he has this nice little home, and Sierra was like, I can't go back to my place. They're having a wedding, and I don't remember why she said she couldn't go. Maybe because she knew Hope and Rafe were a little strained.
Right.
And so he was like, why don't you sleep here?
Oh.
And she was like, oh.
For the podcast listeners, that was like little ooh la la.
Princess Felicia says, Sin Time Happy Dance.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, I continue to really appreciate the storyline of Sierra just really being there for him.
His
And-
champion, yeah.
Yeah.
And not
just-
letting this whole lighter thing. Her instinct is now to protect him from. She knows in her heart that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So it's cute. They still give me the feels.
To have, and that's why they're a power couple. Those
Mm-hmm.
power couples are power couples because no matter what happens, you know they will always be there for each other.
Absolutely.
Always, no matter what it looks like from the outside world, whatever's going down, you know, at the end of the day, they've got each other's backs.
Absolutely.
And so that's beautiful.
And they're gonna spend the night together.
Oh,
Be careful. That's all I say. Anyway, Abe, Sheila, Eli.
yes.
There was a little moment
There was
between
a
Abe
moment,
and Sheila.
and he's so funny. What are you doing? What am I doing? She said.
They're
It
funny.
was all
Like
on
neither
Abe.
of them want to.
Abe leaned into her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
They
like,
got something there.
dude.
And Eli noticed it, kind of, because he had a conversation with his old friend Sheila
Yeah.
about it. Don't
That's
remember
very
what they said in the
cute.
conversation, but I remember having a conversation.
That was very cute.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Abe and Sheila are starting to. I think there's definitely something starting.
I'd
There's-
love-
Yeah.
I just love their conversation too. You know, he's upset about what's going
Mm-hmm.
on, and he doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't know how to address it, and he's just so emotional.
And I like-
she's like, "Look, here's what we do."
Yeah. Well, and I like how it's kind of organically developed from like their relationship was a little tumultuous in the beginning when she came on as his assistant, but now they've meshed well and they get along now.
I
It's
like
cute.
this other side of her.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Exactly.
really smart,
Yeah.
quick wit,
Yeah.
funny, full of ideas, confident. I
maybe
really
when
like
Abe,
it.
if he's voted in as mayor, she can be his. Is there like a vice mayor?
I don't know. Let's create one. Salem needs a vice
Or
mayor.
actually, she's already his assistant, so maybe she'll just keep her job. Maybe that point was just stupid. Okay. Anyway, all right. I think that was the week of days.
I think that was it for the week of days.
Yes.
So now
Good
it's
week.
time for our favorite part of the show, and that's our segments.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with.
Tony did not do a. Excuse me. I'll let the music
Yes.
play. Opulence. Arrogance.
Designer Days. It was a tough call, but anytime Lindsay is in green, then you know what? Miss Lindsay's going to get it. So Lindsay Godfrey as Sarah is in this adorable emerald green wrap style mini sundress. Now this one in particular is by Reformation, and it retailed for $178. And I say retailed because it's sold out. No longer available at Reformation. So I was able to come up with a similar dress that I found online at Nordstrom's. And this adorable thing, Isabella wrap dress, is $49.
That's cute.
It's adorable. So it's the same emerald green color. It's got a little bit of tiny floral designs running through it. Very soft and flowy, wrap style, V-neck, short sleeves. Loved this spring dress, loved this summer outfit. So Miss Lindsay Godfrey, you get...
She had new hair this week too. Did you see she had some? She had some extensions or something.
Yeah, her hair's so long.
Yeah.
Were they extensions? They must
Oh,
be
yeah, they had
Oh
to
my
be.
God, I love her longer hair.
Or maybe not.
It
I
looks
don't
great.
know. Maybe it just grew, because hair grows.
So
But,
now,
Um,
Caption that.
yes, we have captioned that from this week, courtesy of Cassie DePaiva / Eve Donovan screaming in her phone after
we
she
forgot
figured out
this moment. This
when
was
she
hysterical.
it was so funny because she had figured out between shows what Jennifer and Eric had cooked up, and this is her giving Jennifer a piece of her mind.
Screaming
so
into the phone.
I thought that would be a good caption moment, and this week's caption goes to Caitlin Hughes at Caitlin_Hughes on Twitter with her caption that made me laugh out loud. Speak to a representative.
Yes.
And I laughed out loud at that because it's relatable. It happens every time I'm on one of those freaking voice things.
Oh my God.
And then the
that's
dog
hysterical.
barks and it goes all haywire and it's like, did you say? And I'm like, no, that's not what I said. I said representative. So congratulations, Caitlin Hughes on Twitter for your caption that.
Caption that.
Yes. All right. And now we have some
AfterBuzz TV News.
yayas.
We want to be sure that everyone is marking their calendars because guess who's coming to Washington, D.C.?
Tell me, Tami, who's going
that
to
would
Washington?
Be Tony. And
Tony
some
Moore, our
amazing
own Tony
folks.
Moore, world traveler.
Tony is going to Washington, D.C. on June 29th. He will be meeting with Freddie Smith, Greg, is it Ricard?
Ricard.
Along with Jake Silberman, Ryan Carnes, Cameron Grimes, love her, and Van Hanses. So for additional details, please visit www.spectrumcelebrityevents.com.
From what I gather,
Yeah.
it's called Daytime Pride, and so
Okay.
they brought in actors who portray gay or gay-ish characters on the show, and then Tony's going to host the event.
Yes.
So that'll be a lot of fun, and then photographer and friend of the show Brad Everett Young is going as the event photographer, and that's June 29th.
Yes.
And Tony and we have been tweeting it,
Blasting it out there.
So
again, it's
get your tickets now.
SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com.
Fun weekend in Washington, yeah. And so now, without further ado, we have the official nominations for this year's DISHIN
This
Days
is
Awards. This is our second year.
So much fun.
It
Oh
is
my
so much fun. It was
God.
fun reading, and like you said about people putting their comments in
Yes.
and their votes in, and you forget like, oh yeah. And again, we didn't realize like in terms of like new character how many returning characters we had versus new characters.
Yes.
And the in and out.
I think we
so.
had 12 returning characters and 3 new ones. So
Yeah. Were you the one that had to do returning character, or was that
Yes.
Tony? Oh, you had to do return.
I had to do return.
Oh,
Yes.
girl. Okay.
Oh,
So,
no, Tony did returning. I did
Well,
new.
right. You
I
did
did
new.
new.
Right. Oh,
Tony
that was
had
easy.
that was
Yeah.
easy. Tony
Okay.
had the 500 returning.
Got it.
So starting out with best character exit.
yes.
We have the nominees. Nominees are Leo, Chad and Abigail, Nicole, Paul, Vivian.
That's how
And-
I look every morning.
I know.
It's like,
and Lucas.
Lucas. Yeah,
And
Lucas.
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 So those are the 6
I liked his
nominated
exit
for
be-
best exit.
I liked
Aw.
Lucas's exit because it involved Julie's anniversary.
Yeah.
So they were kind of able to incorporate that and everything. Just all right. Next, we have best character return. Again, out of about 50 returning
Holy
characters,
mackerel.
we had to chop and chop and chop, and we came up with Diana, Xander, Kristan, main Kristan, Ban, Jordan, and Belle Black, Miss Belle
Yes.
Black, who came back for the nuptials of John and Marlena.
This
back
is a
over
tough
the-
category.
So, yeah, because
This
they
is
were
gonna be
all
really
they were all
hard.
memorable. Some are still on. Some made their mark while they were on, and yeah. So those are your choices.
Next up for best couple, the nominees are Steve and Kayla, Will and Sunny, Ben and Sierra, Chad and Abigail, John and Marlena, John and Marlena, and Eli and Lonnie.
Yes.
Those are our
I
nominees
love that
for
John and
best
Marleno.
couple.
All right.
I hope she never hears
And
that.
on to those that love each other, to those that may not like each other so much, we have best fight, and we had some doozies this year.
Yeah.
Some that I may have
always love a
forgotten
good
about.
fight on Days.
Oh, and they've been so good. So we have Eric and Brady, who I believe were nominated last year.
Probably
I
they're
can't remember if
nominated.
they won or
Well,
not.
you know, if this was
They
going on
fight
for
a
10
lot.
years, every year
They
there's a good
lot.
fight.
Gabby makes an appearance twice. First, her epic fight with Julie in the Kyriakis
So good.
mansion, where you can see her getting slapped the crap out of. And the second fight she had with Abigail in Bayview. Then we have Belle and John. So best fight doesn't have to be a physical fight.
Yeah.
But remember they had their argument about Marlena's DNR, which led to some very great scenes. We have Eve and Ben.
Ooh.
If you remember when Eve first encountered Ben,
Yeah.
that was a very intense, very, very dramatic scene. And then we have Will and Leo in Horton Town Square.
Yes.
So yeah, best fight.
And we have a new category this year, Best Gratuitous Shirtlessness. So this is a fun category. Our nominees are Rex, played by Mr. Kyle Loudon.
Louder.
Xander, Mr. Paul.
Paul Tefler.
Leo, Mr. Greg. Ricard. Ben, Mr. Robert. And Brady, of course, Mr. Eric. I'm just going by first names because
Mr. Eric.
I need a drink of water.
Need a sip after that graphic. Yeah, I need some water too.
I think that's exactly what's
a
going
cold
on. So those are the
shower.
nominees for Best Gratuitous Shirtlessness.
Yes, that's gonna be a tough one too.
That's going to be a tough one.
Next we have probably the easiest category to figure out.
Oh my gosh.
Best new character.
This says something. I think Ron, guys, I think we need some new people in Salem.
I'm
surprised.
I'm always a fan of bringing in a new character if they're. I don't know how to explain it. I'll explain later. We need to get. I want to get these. Okay, so we have best new character. We have Leo. We have Ted Laurent.
Yes.
And we have Haley Chen.
Yay.
All very good.
Those are the three.
No, those are the three new characters. But no, I'm for them bringing in new characters if they fit and they make sense.
Yes.
And I feel like these three characters were brought in. They make sense. They're.
And I wish Leo was still there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Greg Rickart. He's going back to YNR.
I know.
Sad, bad news bears, but yeah.
Our next category is Best Wedding. And so we have Leo and Sunny, Chad and Abigail, Hope and Rafe, Marlena and John, and Hattie and John.
Yes.
Those are the Best Wedding nominees.
Yeah, yes. And our last, well, not our last award, but the last one that has nominees, Most Shocking Moment. And
Yes.
there
This
was
so hard.
There was a debate about that
Oh
in the
my
chat
gosh.
room. I was just watching it. I was like,
Yeah.
But most shocking moment we settled with, or we didn't settle with, we chose Sierra starting Ben's Fire. Claire starting Ben's Fire. So sorry.
This is how rumors get started,
Claire
Michael.
starting the fire at the cabin. Jack being alive.
Yeah.
That was a shocker. Stefan sleeping with Gabby with a Y.
Yep.
That was a little bit of a shocker. Marlena is Hattie. That was a shocker. Marlena actually didn't die.
Yeah.
Didn't live. She was still sick, but Hattie was taking her place. And last but not least, EJ is alive, and all of the mystery rooms in that Demira
Yeah.
bunker.
All
We
the
saw all of
initials.
those rooms with all of those initials. That was a shocker.
That was a great moment.
Yeah.
That was a really good moment. The three remaining categories, Tony Snaps for Life, Your Best Kodak Moment,
Mm-hmm.
and Style Icon, those will be chosen by us.
By us, yours truly. Yes, we
and
choose
those will be announced during the awards, award announcements, which will
Mm-hmm.
be on April 28th.
Yes. By the way, we have no show next week because it's Easter Sunday,
Yes.
and I will be with my family, and Tami will be with her family.
Yes.
And Tony will probably be with his family or something. We all have plans on Easter, so unfortunately that means no show next week. But when we come back, it's a big week because we announce the winners.
Yes. Also, voting for the awards opens tonight.
Yes.
Correct, after the show. We'll post the link for voting on all of the social media channels that we've got.
And we'll post it a couple more times throughout the week.
And voting closes on Sunday, April 21st at 3 p.m.
Yes, so you have
vote
one week
now.
to put your votes in. It'll
Yes.
end Sunday, April 21st at 3 p.m.
Awesome.
And then once again, an announcement or official winners announced when we return on April 28th.
Yay.
Hey.
That's it.
That's it.
Boom, boom, boom. Where
Yeah,
can
yes.
people find you, Mr. Michael Mattis?
Oh Lord, they can find me On social media at MLMattis1 on the Twitter and MLMattis on the Instagram.
And you can find our show on Twitter at _DISHIN Days and on Facebook and Insta at DISHIN Days. You can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia and Insta and Facebook Tami Goveia Official. Reminder, no show next week, you guys.
No show.
So we will see you the following week. Make sure and vote, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.